Hi there, and welcome to this short video from Kirasa Software about importing from MS Project using our coded symbols and bars option. This is a live demo, so let's get started. So as you can see, I've loaded up my MS Project file, and I have 3 number fields. Now these number fields can be any of Project's number fields. They don't necessarily have to be number 1, number 2, and number 3, but for this example, that's what I'm going to be using. So let's talk about what these number fields actually mean. If you look at this image over here, you'll see that the first number field is going to be the row in Milestones. So for instance, if I change this to a 1, then Alpha Design is going to come in on the first row inside your milestone schedule. Same thing if I change this to a number 2, Alpha Test is going to come in on row number 2. Now let's talk about the second number field. The second number field is going to be the type of symbology. So you can bring in milestone type of symbology or bars symbology, even baseline bars, and even a combination of the two. So for instance, if I wanted to bring in bars for Alpha Design, I would just change this to a 5. And if I wanted to just bring the finish date of Alpha Test, I could set that here, number 1. So it's going to bring in a bar for Alpha Design, which will include the start and finish date, and for Alpha Test, it's just going to bring in this finish date right here. And finally, number 3 is going to represent the toolbox row that this task will get its symbology from. So if I put a number 1 into Alpha Design, it's going to get symbology from the first row of the toolbox. And if I put number 2 for Alpha Test, it's going to get its symbology from the second row in the toolbox. Now to make this a little simpler, I'm going to rename my number fields so that I kind of know what each number field represents. This might be a good idea if you haven't used coded symbols and bars before. So I can just say number 1, row in Milestones. Number 2, symbology. And number 3, row in Toolbox. Okay. Now let's bring these tasks into Milestones Professional. So let's open up Milestones Professional, go to the Connections tab, hit Create Report from Project. We're going to choose our MPP file, press Open. Now we're going to make sure that the outline level is set high. We don't have a flag field set here, and we're going to be using unique ID to tag our tasks. So I'm going to choose Create Swim Lane Schedule using codes. I'm going to press Next. And if you don't have coded symbols and bars, you can choose it from the drop-down menu here. And right here is where we're going to set what number fields we used. I set these up to the default, which is number 1 is row in Milestones, number 2 is symbology, and number 3 is the row in the toolbox. Symbol text, we're going to keep that as name, and it's going to bring in name for some of the symbols. So let's go ahead and press Finish. So what happened there is it brought in Alpha Design as a bar, and it brought in Alpha Test as just a finish milestone. So at this point, you can modify this default coded symbols and bars template and create your own template with which to import. So let's pretend that I just want to have 4 rows because I've got 4 projects, and I want a bar for the design and then a milestone for the test. So in Milestones, I can say Layout, 4 rows per page, apply those changes. I can go ahead and delete what's already on the schedule. make it nice and blank. I've got these 4 rows. I'm going to name them alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Okay, I'm going to change the background of these rows. All right, nice green. Okay. Grid line and shade. I'm going to shade this one a nice bluish. Okay. Going to change this one as well to a nice light sandy brown. And for the last one, I'm going to say a light pinkish violet. Okay. So at this point, I've got 4 rows, and they're all colored nicely. So if I want to put more tasks in, I can just set them to come in on row 1, 2, etc. But let's talk about the symbology as well. So let's change this bar to actually be a solid bar with invisible symbols on either end. Okay, I'm going to change this to number 28, which is an invisible symbol. I'm going to actually make this bar a little bigger. Okay, and change the color to be a little lighter, maybe a light silver. And for the start symbol, I'm actually going to change the text to be on the bar and in the middle, so it's not above the bar. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to change a milestone to maybe a star shape and make it a nice red. Okay, so now I'm going to tell the bars to come in using row 1 in the toolbox, and the milestone finishes to come in using row 2. So the milestones will come in as stars, and the bars will come in as a solid silver bar. So let's go back to project. So alpha, they're both going to be on row number 1 in milestones. Beta, they're going to be on row number 2. Gamma are going to be on row number 3. Delta are going to be on row number 4. All right. Let's modify number 2. So we're going to bring in the design tasks as a bar, which is 5, and the test as a milestone, which is 1. So we can actually just copy and paste these for beta, gamma, and delta. Again, the design is a bar, number 5, like you can see in the picture. And the test is a finish milestone, as the image shows. Row and toolbox, the alpha is actually correct for all of them. We're going to be using row 1 as that silver bar and row 2 as that finish milestone. So let's copy this as well. Okay, so now we've got our project file all set up, how we want to import. Let's go back to milestones. And there's a pretty important step here that we haven't done yet. After we've made this template, we actually need to save it. So you go to File, you hit this little arrow right next to the Save As, and instead of a chart, you choose Microsoft Project Custom Import Template. It asks you to give a description. I'll just say coded bars. Okay. And it asks you to save it. Coded bars template. I'll press OK. Save. So now let's go ahead and go to Create Report from Project in the Connections tab. I'm going to choose that same file that we've already got open. Okay, I'm going to leave all of these the same. Do create swim lane schedules using codes. And the big difference here is that I'm going to say use custom template. And then I'll need to press the Get Template button. And if you scroll down, you'll see your coded bars template. I'll press Open. And you'll see it kind of gives you a preview of what your template actually looks like. So we haven't changed any of the numbers, the number fields or anything, and we still want symbol text to come in showing the name from project. So at this point, we can press Finish. And you'll see that the import is complete. Let's see if we can change the dates to show all of the tasks. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll change this to 10. So now you can see each task got imported how we told it to. For instance, alpha design is still that bar with start and end, finish. The alpha test is just the finish milestone, and same with beta design, beta test, and so on. At this point, you could modify this bar. If you don't want to show the date, you can hide those dates and maybe make it look a little better. You can also just change the way the dates are displayed. If you just go to the Dates tab, you can actually set symbol date format. So I'll say month and day. Again, that's Dates tab, set symbol date format. And if you make any changes to this template, you should go ahead and save it as a new template. That way, if you re-import using coded symbols and bars, your template, your toolbox, everything gets saved with that. Thanks for watching this video from Kidasa Software. If you have any questions, you can email support@kidasa.com. You can also visit our website for other videos, and if there's any applicable downloads, they'll be in the description of the video or on the page where the video is. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.